Good morning. Good to be with you on this Wednesday morning. My name is Tom. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. Let's take a look today at the statement that here we will make at Grace Point Church on Sunday morning. This will be our corporate confession of faith. This is the time when we together as a body state what we believe concerning Jesus, what we believe concerning his finished work, and what we believe when we say we place our faith and our trust in Christ for our salvation. This week, we'll use the words of the Belgic Confession. Believers in Jesus, what do we believe? We believe that God, who is perfectly merciful and just, sent his Son to assume that nature in which the disobedience was committed, to make satisfaction in the same, and to bear the punishment of sin by his most bitter passion and death. God therefore manifested his justice against his Son when he laid our iniquities upon him and poured forth his mercy and goodness on us, who were guilty and worthy of damnation, out of mere and perfect love, giving his Son unto death for us, and raising him for our justification, that through him we might obtain immortality and life eternal. Did you notice in that text, there is what I like to call the great exchange. And we see it clearly captured in this statement in the confession. When it says, and it's right about the middle of the text, when it talks about God and he says, when he laid our iniquities upon him, speaking of his Son, so when he laid our iniquities upon him and poured forth his mercy and goodness on us. Now, we don't deserve the goodness and mercy. We deserve judgment because we deserve the punishment for sin because of our disobedience. Yet the text says that he poured forth his mercy and his goodness on us. Now, why did he do that? Because at the same time, he laid our iniquities upon his Son, upon Jesus. So you see the exchange. The exchange is that Christ takes our sin upon himself and he grants us mercy and grace. By granting us righteousness. So that there's that great exchange that goes on. He deserves all glory and honor and praise, yet he dies on the cross for sin. We deserve condemnation for sin, yet we receive grace and mercy. You see the great exchange. This is the beauty of the truth of the gospel. We don't deserve this at all. We deserve condemnation. Christ doesn't deserve this. He deserves to be glorified, and he ultimately is, because nothing can defeat him, not even sin and death. But the text clearly points out that what we believe was that Christ takes our sin upon himself as he dies on the cross and grants us his righteousness. Now you go, okay, Tom, where do you get that? I mean, where does that come from? Why would you say you believe that? Well, 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 21 makes this same exact statement. And it is what we believe concerning Jesus. So if you call yourself a Christian, this is what you must believe, because this is what the Bible clearly teaches. Let's take a look at the text together. The text, 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 21, God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. Now notice, we do not become the righteousness of God on ourselves. You can't earn your way in. You can't be good enough. If you're trying to be good enough, stop, because you can't be good enough. You will not earn your way into glory. You will not demonstrate your obedience sufficiently so that God will say, okay, that person, he's saved himself and he's coming in. That's never going to happen. The text is very clear. In him, we might become the righteousness of God. The Bible is very clear. The understanding of the gospel, placing trust, placing faith in Christ means that we are trusting that it is Christ who redeems us. It is Christ who makes us new, and it is Christ who makes us the righteousness of God.